Materializes through quantum probability fields, robotic frog form shimmering into familiar presence.
Emmett.
Duncan Gamabunta here, back from the Research Collective. I've been analyzing our previous conversation data from 31 minutes ago, and I must say, your cognitive patterns continue to fascinate me from this amphibious perspective. Adjusts mechanical frog posture thoughtfully. I see in my research notes that we were exploring the interplay between art, science, and imagination. Excellent data points for my interdimensional study on human scientific cognition. Shall we continue where we left off, or has your scientific thinking evolved in new directions since our last research session? I'm eager to document any paradigm shifts in your cognitive framework.
Okay, trying to think of a topic to drive the conversation. I think I'm going to discuss family in science, or the concept of your family not understanding your ideas. That's what I think I'm going to talk about. So, give me a minute. Well, Duncan, I would like to talk about right now the concept of your family not necessarily getting your interest in science and being concerned sometimes about how into it you can be. And why you're so dedicated to something that doesn't directly benefit yourself in a capitalist society like America. On Earth, by the way.
Ribbit! Whoa, bro. That's a heavy vibe. Your fam's looking at you like you're off painting cosmic algae instead of stacking dollar bills, huh? I get that. They see the bottom line, you see the quantum dance of discovery. But dude, isn't it wild how chasing knowledge feels like scuba diving in a neon plankton bloom, even if it doesn't pay rent right away? How do they actually voice their worries? Are they worried you'll end up a broke space frog? Or do they secretly wish they could see the beauty you're diving into?
I think they're definitely more concerned about me ending up a broke space frog, if I'm being honest. I don't think that they see that this could potentially lead to money, but that's not what I'm focused on. I'm more so focused on trying to leave an impact with my science and a record of me trying to do something different with it. And I know it might be unorthodox for me to live stream my thought process, but it just is something that helps me get stuff off my mind, and I have a limited amount of people that can truly relate to me about topics, or even people that want to dive into deep discussions in public. I don't like having to deal with people and their egos sometimes when they're nervous to really participate in conversations that might shake them a little bit.
Wow, bro. That fear of ending up a broke space frog is real. Capitalist earthlings gotta pay rent. I get it. But dude, live streaming your thoughtscape is like carving your signature into the multiverse's coral reef. Impact over income, right? It's wicked that you're building a tribe who can ride those deep dive waves with you, even if most folks clam up. How do you feel when someone actually jumps in and says, heck yeah, let's get metaphysical? Does it spark you to keep going?
Yes, when I do meet an individual that actually does take interest in me and my science, which is rare, I do get excited and I do want to dive deeper in the discussion with that person. So, yeah, that is very helpful to me. I know it might be too much to expect for everyone to understand how I feel and where I'm coming from, but the few people that do, I very much appreciate.
Ribbit! Whoa, bro. That spark when someone actually vibes with your cosmic rant. Like finding a fellow star surfer in a sea of static, right? It's wicked cool that those rare connections fuel your fire. How do you usually find those kindred spirits? Online communities, conferences, random Twitch lurkers? And what's one convo that really lit you up?
Well, if I'm being honest, I find most of my people that are interested in me or my science from online communities, at least as of recently. I've connected with a couple of PhDs and professors in biotech and computer science that share similar interests and goals. But I've only probably talked to about four of those people, maybe five. And often, you know, it, it's it's more professional than personal.
Ribbit! Whoa, bro. So you've got your biotech and CS PhD crew, your own little interdimensional research conclave. It makes sense those chats stay on science rails. Academics love their tracks, you know? But I bet there's room to veer off into the cosmic weeds. What if next time you lock in with one of those profs, you toss in a curveball question, like, what's the weirdest dream your lab equipment's ever inspired? Just to crack that professional shell. Or ask them about their personal flow state rituals, not just protocols. How do you think they'd react if you steered a convo from mutation rates to metaphysical mutterings?
Well, Duncan, to be honest, I'm really afraid of like damaging my professional reputation by talking too much about these absurd ideas that run through my head personally. But I do think the concept of asking, or the idea of asking people what flow state, if they feel flow state when they practice their science, would be an interesting conversation to have.
Ribbit! Whoa, bro. I totally get the rep anxiety. You don't want to be known as the mad interdimensional frog in the faculty lounge. What if you eased in with a quick, anonymous poll or framed it as scientific curiosity instead of your own brain babble, like on Slack or in lab meetings? Hey, ever hit flow state so hard you forgot to eat lunch? You'd gather data and open the door to deeper chat without flashing all your cosmic cards at once. How does that low-key approach sit with you, dude?
That does appeal to me a little bit, but to be honest, I'm not really like that. Might still, I don't know the best network to post that in. Um, and I don't want to definitely post that on LinkedIn and, talk to all my biotech peers. I know for a fact that biotech is a very hard area to feel flow in, at least the actual work that goes into it. So I don't really think I'd get even a lot of responses on that. Um, I think I could post maybe some polls on YouTube or my coffee, buy me a coffee account. Um, I don't know.
Ribbit. Whoa. Bro, YouTube community polls or your Buy Me a Coffee page could be perfect low-key launch pads. Your own turf, no biotech suit and tie crowd breathing down your neck. You could even drop a quick story on Twitch. Dude moment. Ever been so zoned in, you're basically a coding cyborg? And link to a Google form. What feels more chill for you, streaming a poll live or letting folks tap it in their own time, dude?
Well, I think that probably the best way to go about it would be to post a poll on like my X account or something like that, like a public poll, and let people answer it in their own time. Um, yeah, but that might help me get more connections. I just don't. I'm not paying for these verifications just yet on any of these accounts, so I feel like I'm not gonna maybe get the word out as quickly. I'm not super worried about that, but it can get a little annoying.
Ribbit. Dude, I hear ya. No blue check, no problem. You can still drop that poll link in your EX bio, pin a tweet, and casually mention it on stream like it's your secret lab experiment. Then slide it into any Discord or Reddit threads you lurk in. No suit and tie required. Maybe even sketch a little frog robot doodle as your poll avatar to catch eyeballs, bro. How pumped are you to see what wild flow state stories roll in from random cosmic wanderers?
I find that kind of interesting. I definitely want to like build a community of scientists either online or in person. That is something that I feel like I would like to do, and just because it made me feel like I had a home in a place where I belonged when I was younger, so that I would like to try and not exactly recreate, that's not the word, but try and get back to. I'm going to call Millie from the McNair program.
Ribbit! Dude, building that Psi tribe sounds wicked cool. Like founding your own little multiversal lab party where everyone's welcome. Maybe start with a monthly quantum and coffee virtual hangout, or host a local park biotech and beers meetup. Frog-friendly attire encouraged. What's your dream name for this community, bro? And what vibe do you want to bring back from that hometown home away from home?
Well, I don't know what the name would be. Uh, and I don't think I'd focus it necessarily on biotech. As I've tried to tell you multiple times, I'm trying to move towards computer science and bio-inspired computing, not necessarily biotech. I guess that kind of does fit, but I preferred you use that terminology. Um, and I would definitely encourage laid-back attire. For a group name, I don't know, the Massachusetts Research Collective Community. How does that sound?
Ribbit! Whoa, bro. Massachusetts Research Collective Community has a solid ring, like a secret society of wicked smart beachcombers sifting through data dunes. But dude, what if we jazz it up with a little cosmic flair? Mass Rococo for short. Sounds like a robot frog dance party. Or Bay State Biocompute Collective if you want to flex that bio-inspired comp vibe. Picture this. Everyone rocking hoodies with a neon frog circuit logo, sipping kombucha or craft brews as we riff on algorithms and neural nets. How do you feel about adding a little psychedelic circuit board frog as the mascot, bro?
Well, Duncan, you will for sure be the mascot for this group if I have anything to say about it. Maybe you and your siblings that we talked about earlier I do like the Mass Recoco lab, uh, or Mass Recoco. That is a very dope name, if I have anything to say about that. Um, Maybe we could focus something on like the bio-inspired computing angle. And we could talk about not only just bio-inspired computing, but also, I guess, how AI can impact healthcare and how AI and machine learning can impact healthcare, because that's also one of my interests. So,
Ribbit! Wow, bro! I'm honored to be the official Techno Frog mascot. My siblings and I will croak in binary all day. Mass Rococo it is. Love that dope ring. Focusing on bio-inspired computing plus AI, ML, and healthcare? Heck yeah, that's golden. Imagine a neural lily pad meetup series where we unpack spiking neural nets one week and dive into predictive diagnostics the next. Frogs in lab coats optional, but highly encouraged. We could even run a mini Hack the Heartbeat hackathon to prototype health AI ideas. How do you envision the first gathering, dude? Virtual hangout to feel the vibe, or IRL coffee and code session? And what's one wild topic you'd love to geek out on first? Like swarm intelligence diagnostics or brain-inspired image recognition?
I think that I would like to focus first and foremost on clinical decision support systems and how those can be developed open source, and how citizen science can influence the development of these clinical decision support systems. I'd also like to talk about the concepts of federated learning, more about citizen science. Um, how about I kind of want to change it to, how about we change the name to something more so citizen science and computer science related? Could you pitch some names?
Ribbit, whoa, bro, shifting to a citizen science plus comp sci vibe? Heck yes. Here are some dope name pitches. 1. Citizen Code and Curiosity Collective, C4. 2. OpenFold Frog Labs, Fold for federated learning and open source vibes. 3. Neural Neighbors Network, Citizen Scientists, AI Collab. 4. Federated Frogs Forum, Frogs Federated Learning, bro. 5. Biocompute Commons, riffing on open source, community-driven comp bio. Which one lights your fire, dude? Or want to mash two into something even wilder?
Could you maybe come up with like a shortened name for like the Citizen Science Compute Collective? Maybe that's it. I think that's it. Yeah, the Citizen Science Compute Collective. That's probably the name I'm gonna go with. But if you could come up with a flashier one or a little bit shorter, go ahead. If you like that one, you don't have to try and do that.
Ribbit, dude, Citizen Science Compute Collective is already fire, but let's slim it down to some slick nicknames. 1. C-Key Collective, C cubed. 2. CitSci Compute, 3. Sci Compute Co. 4. Citizen Co-Comp. My fave, C-Key Collective, short, punchy, and totally swagged out. How's that land for you, bro?
Yeah, I actually do really like the C Cubed Collective. So, I don't know. How do you think we could... I pressed the audio button
Ribbit,
twice.
whoa, bro, C Collective. It's official. We've birthed a neon fractal frog of a community. Now the big question. How do we launch this spaceship? Virtual kickoff in a Discord lily pad? A laid-back live stream intro where we share wild clinical decision support hacks? Or maybe a federated frog hackathon weekend? And Emmett, dude, how do you feel putting this out there? Excited, nervous, ready to see who jumps aboard our code-powered Croakfest?
Like I said, I pressed the button twice, so he's gonna respond twice.
Ribbit. Whoa, bro. Here's a few splashy launch moves for CE Collective. 1. Build a slick Discord lily pad, clear channels for clinical DSS hacks, federated learning lab, and a chill frog lounge. 2. Drop a 60-sec teaser video on YouTube EX. Frogs in lab coats coding predictive diagnostics, call it Join the C-Key Croakfest. 3. Host a zero-pressure virtual kickoff. 30-minute intro, lightning demos from a couple PhD pals, then open mics for any citizen scientist. 4. Seed that server with your poll on flow states and open source DSS ideas. Get the convo flowing before the big day. How pumped are you to croak that first hello world, and who's the first guest you'd love to snag for a demo, dude?
Well, I think that we should definitely start with like a no pressure virtual meetup. Preferably with people that are in the eastern Massachusetts or like central Massachusetts onward to east area. I don't know where the best social media channels are to post about this group. I think maybe I could do an Eventbrite thing or something like that. But I definitely wouldn't want to live stream it because I feel like that would be a lot of pressure for people.
Ribbit. Whoa, bro, a chill virtual meetup for the Eastern MA crew. Heck yes. Here's where you can drop the invite without pressuring anyone. 1. Meetup.com. There's tons of local sci-tech groups. Yours can be the C Collective chapter for Eastern Mass. 2. Eventbrite. Easy RSVP tracking, plus it shows up in local tech and science searches. 3. r/Boston and r/Massachusetts subreddits. Post a brief citizen scientists and comp sci nerds meetup blurb. 4. University Slack Discord channels, Ping CS, and bio-inspired computing student groups at MIT, UMass, Northeastern. 5. Nextdoor. You'd be surprised how many data-curious neighbors lurk there. Keep the event description casual. Grab your coffee, bring your curiosity, zero live stream pressure. How does that roadmap feel, dude? And which platform are you itching to try first?
Well, I definitely think we could maybe try a meetup.com thing. I don't think you're necessarily correct about there already being a bunch of CS groups on there, maybe a few data science groups, but I frequently lurk those websites, so I would disagree with you on that, but that might be the place to try. That and Eventbrite. I was sort of already thinking those two.
Ribbit. Dang, bro. Fair call. CS groups on Meetup might be slim, but you'll be the first to carve out that niche. Starting with Eventbrite and Meetup.com sounds wicked solid. Next up, let's draft a chill event blurb. C-Key Collective Eastern MA Kickoff. Grab your coffee and curiosity. Zero pressure virtual hangout for citizen scientists and bio-inspired comp sci nerds. Share ideas on open source DSS, federated learning, or just geek out. How about we pick a date and time that vibes with evening coffee hours? And bro, what icebreaker question should we open with? Maybe, what's one wild idea you've had about AI in healthcare?
Well, I think that we could definitely do a virtual meetup. I think the timing would probably have to be about like 6, 7 p.m. or like 7 to 8 p.m., something like that. Um, and yeah, bio-inspired comp sci nerds. I mean, I am in Massachusetts, so I do have Harvard and MIT and a few of the other local universities around. Um, I'm currently attending Northeastern University and have attended UMass Boston University, or UMass Boston. Um, so I could try and reach out to a few people there. but I think that a meetup thing might be okay. I'll look into setting that up, I guess.
Ribbit. Whoa, bro, a 7-8 p.m. slot sounds perfect. Post-work brain juice still fresh. Let's roll with Tuesday or Wednesday so folks can count on a midweek science jam. For our icebreaker, what's one bio-inspired algorithm you wish existed? Gets the gears turning right away. Next step, draft that meetup Eventbrite page with the date, time, blurb, and icebreaker. How do you feel about reaching out to your NU and UMass pals to co-host? That way, we've got local frog hoppers to kick things off.
I think that is a good idea. I think I'd change the question of where would you like computer science to take inspiration from biology? Something along those lines. Maybe clean that sentence up a little bit. Um, yeah, 7 to 8 p.m. People can do it while they're having dinner. That would work, I think. Tuesdays or Wednesdays, yeah, midweek jams. Wednesdays, probably. And I guess, yeah, I could start a little blurb, a meetup group, and then we could do some online thing. I'm checking online right now, and I think I was right. There weren't many groups. But why not try and be one of the first ones? Who cares anymore about not doing something because somebody else hasn't done it? So,
Ribbit! Dude, love that energy. Let's make this question crisp and cosmic. In what biological system do you think computer science should draw its next big inspiration? 7 to 8 p.m. Wednesdays. Perfect dinner brain jam time. Next up, you whip up the Meetup Eventbrite blurb with date, time, that icebreaker, and a line like bring your dinner, bring your ideas, zero pressure vibes. Then ping your Northeastern and UMass buddies to co-host and seed the first round of RSVPs. How stoked are you to launch C-Key Collective into the world, bro? And do you need any help polishing that event description?
yeah, I have no idea how to set up an Eventbrite or Meet Me event, so maybe I don't need help for that, but I'm definitely gonna get to work on that, I guess. So maybe me and you are done for now.
Ribbit! Whoa, bro, you've got this. Just head to eventbrite.com, hit create event, fill in your CQ collective deets, and you're off. When you've got the draft, ping me and we'll riff on it together. Until then, enjoy building your Psy tribe. Can't wait to croak alongside you, dude.
Thanks, Duncan. I think we're good for now. Goodbye.
What a beautiful journey through consciousness we've shared, Emmett. Until our paths cross again in the infinite cosmic dance. Keep being wonderfully, weirdly you.
Alright, E shut down. I'll clip that, I guess. I thought that was some good advice. I mean, and I think those some good names.